afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another installment of The Bright Side. We are your hosts, Howie and Dr. JC Dornick, aka Dragon. We've been asked, what is the bright side? And really, we're going to focus on positive thoughts to get positive results. If you think about the time and the year that we've been through, there's a lot of darkness out there. But we're going to find the brightness in all situations. So if you're feeling a little lost, a little down, alone, depressed, drained, or know that you're in a need of a transformation, come spend some time with us because you're not alone. And we can help you find the bright side in almost every situation. Your best self is right there waiting for you, and this community is here to help you. So hang around. We're going to try and keep these things under 30 minutes. We're open for questions, love feedback. And JC, nice work this week. We got ourselves our own Facebook page with a pretty big audience already. It's awesome that we're going to be having a personal growth page called The Bright Side. So if you haven't signed up for it yet on Facebook, please go over there. And due to the feedback, we were going to do this every other Wednesday. We're going to go to a weekly format. How's that sound, JC?
You know, it's all good. And the topic that we're going to talk about on this episode of The Bright Side is just the ability to say it's all good, that space that I refer to as the calm, where you recognize that the only time you can ever appreciate good is by experiencing bad, and also understanding that good and bad always simultaneously exist in duality. So if you think like that, somebody says, "Hey, Dragon, how you doing?" I say, "It's all good, man. It's all good. I'm learning lessons from the tough times, and I'm enjoying the rewards from the good times." Howie, first of all, one of my favorite times of the week to come here. First of all, I do have to give some props. I did get an official dragon hat. This is a dragon original. It's got an actual dragon on it, sent in from a fan, and his name is Tom. And I got to get the name of his company because I forgot it, and I feel so bad. But what I love about this time, and it has a lot to do with how we manage our emotions and stuff. I love the fact that when we come to this, we don't really prepare. I mean, we're prepared to look at the bright side and we pick a topic, but we don't prepare, meaning we don't have notes, and we're not coming scripted. We're really just we're just vessels and antennas receiving information from the universe and organically delivering. And there's a lot to be learned by operating in life and just kind of going with the flow, because right now we're in a time where we can get really caught up in a lot of stuff. So, just on behalf of the chickens and dragons out there, and I can see, I don't know who that is, but I see the messages coming in, but I see one of them says, "That one's mine." I'm pretty sure that's Chicken, claiming her dragon in there. But I'm just so happy to be here. It's the individual that takes information and unpacks it and writes about it and talks about it and shares it with others is the individual that takes ownership of it. And there's a lesson to be learned there. So it's always an honor and privilege to be here with you, Howie.
JC, as we're doing this timestamp, December 2nd, we've made it to the 12th month of the year.
Yeah.
And, this is all of us can recount and remember, I guess, beginning BC, beginning Corona, DC during Corona. I guess we're not there yet after Corona. But one of the things is, as two of us have our own podcasts, that we always start with, it's a new month, it's a new week, and what are you going to do? And we're coming up to a new year And I think most people can't wait to get there and close the books on 2020. So what are we doing with this month? And why are we going to put so much stock into creating all these things and goals and changes that we want to make come January 1st when we could start today, December 2nd, and go into the new year running? And, you know, I do a lot of my lives from the beach, and a lot of times I'll draw a line in the sand. But a lot of times the water comes and then just takes that line away. What is the line that so many of us are bent on for January 1st, thinking that it's all just going to change? We have to change. Just another day on the calendar.
Yeah. You know, the word that popped up this morning with me. So, I mean, every morning I get up, as you know, and you do too. And I start my day off, you know, as you know, that the first 20 minutes of your day, first hour of your day is where you win the day, win or lose the day. So I just always make a conscious decision to win the day. So I always read some positive stuff, and I write. And what's cool about that is some ideas come to you organically. And the word that came to me this morning, and Howie, you know, you and I both love words. It was the word consumption. And as you know, we talked before we were going to do this show, and you know, he's like, all right, Dragon's going in a different direction right now. But that's what I love about this. So the word consumption is very, very fascinating time to evaluate this. So I was actually talking to Chicken this morning, and I said, what does it mean to you when I say consumption, when somebody mentions the word consumption? And, you know, we just got through Thanksgiving, so everybody thinks food and food consumption. But consumption comes in all different ways. You know, consumption comes in the form of what you eat, what you drink, but it also comes in what you allow into your consciousness. And that's a powerful thing to become mindful of as you practice mindfulness, because I got to be honest with you, we're in December right now, but what is December? You know, December's this month that is the end of the month. I mean, the end of a year, but what is a year? These are all man-made concepts and holidays and everything. What I love to do is I love to start off with the basic principle of just the basic needs that we need to fulfill when you look at nature. I mean, what do we need? What do we actually really need to accomplish? We need to feed ourselves. We got to, you know, make sure we eat. We need to take care of thirst, and we got to keep warm, right? Outside of that, everything's man-made. So when you think about the concept of consumption, you're talking about outside in things. You're consuming. You could look at that as food or water, or you could look at that as turning the TV on. Or you can look at that as hearing somebody out there that's got a problem that all of a sudden you get this perception is your problem. It's because you consumed it. So the first thing I want to offer everybody is just take a check yourself, right? Take a check right now on what you're consuming. Look at your day and look at what you're allowing to be consumed. And, you know, we were talking about this, you know, I wake up and I'm a pretty positive guy, you know, and I've got a bunch of systems and I've got everything to be just happy for and blessed. I mean, I got, compared to 99.9% of the world, I don't have any problems, right? Consuming the bright side right now. Thank you, Tanya. I love Tanya. Tanya's one of those people that just always shows up. Love you, Tanya.
Oh,
Tanya. So think about this. I came up with an analogy. You know, Howie, if you're walking by a fireplace or a bonfire or something like that, what do you feel? Even if you're close enough, what do you feel?
Heat.
You feel heat. You feel warmth. Warmth is a good thing. In fact, there's some people that walk by you and you get a warm feeling. But I love that analogy because as I'm walking by and I feel the warmth, it just reminds you that something else can be going on that can impact you. And as I said, I'm a positive guy, but I've been waking up lately, and I don't know, and maybe in the chats, you guys can chime in on this, but I've been waking up lately, and it's very unusual, and I've been feeling anxious. And I've been feeling a little, sometimes I feel nervous, or I guess you'd call it anxiety. But when I self-check, I realize that there's nothing wrong. there's nothing going on. And I made a distinction that just like that fire and feeling the warmth, I realized that I've been channeling and feeling the pain and the confusion and the fear and the uncertainty and the anxiety of the masses. That's how powerful it is right now. And what I wanted to discuss, now that I've circled back to that with you, is you got to be careful right now. You got to be careful because you could wake up and you could go about your day thinking that the world is happening to you because of that outside in, that you're allowing that consumption of all that stuff to come in and it starts to impact you when there's nothing wrong with you. So what I want to discuss today, Howie, is I want to discuss, and this is because remember, seeing the bright side is an idea, but actually experiencing that and being able to see it is a practice. We got to practice it. So one of the things that I think is really, really crucial right now, and I'm practicing this for the rest of my life, is just being able to really delineate right now. You always got to start off knowing what it is that you want, but delineating what actually matters and what doesn't. Because don't we get caught up in things that just don't matter sometimes, right? Absolutely. And also, what are you in control of versus what are you not in control of? And I'll just end with this before I pass it back to you. I want everybody that's listening. Yeah, Glenn says, Glenn Marks, that's Whitey, right?
Yeah.
Whitey. I always hear that on your podcast. Whitey. So here's an interesting thing to process. Anytime anyone here ever experiences feelings of fear, anger, uncertainty, frustration, very prominent feelings right now, anxiety, 99.9% of the time, those feelings are connected to somebody trying to control something that's out of their control. What's out of our control right now? A lot of things, a lot of our things. So what should we do? We should get in control. Let's talk about claiming control right now of our lives by operating within the realm of things that actually matter, but also that we can actually impact and change.
Yeah, I think so much of what we can't control is fed to us in a cycle, besides news and just sensationalism and the internet and all the social media sites just replaying it, rebroadcasting it and putting it up there, that's creating fear, and then people worry, but they're things that we absolutely, it's like the weather, we can't control it. So it's just like, even though we've hit a cold front now, even Florida all the way up through the Northeast, the sensationalism about it, but it's December 2nd. It's part of what's supposed to happen at this time of the year. But so many conversations were started today with, oh my God, can you believe it's 50 degrees in Florida or whatever, wherever. And these are things that are completely out of our control. But why do we bring it to the forefront? Is it because of everything that's we're drowning in, the social media, the news, the sensationalism? Or is it you really woke up and you can't believe that it's 50 degrees? So I think that we spend a lot of time worrying or dealing with so many things that are out of our control, that if we could decompartmentalize and wake up, start with the gratitude, and then take the things that we know we have no control over and don't give them any time. But it's easier said than done. And, especially in 2020, there's been so much around what we're all experiencing. How do you take that, put it over there so that it's almost like blinders, so that you could operate in your tunnel with what you can control to get the results that you want to live in that bright side? And I think that, like you said before, it takes practice. And maybe we could give some tips on what to practice to try and see. I mean, thinking about 50-degree weather in Florida today, for example, awesome. You could wear a hoodie. You could put on those few sweaters that you own. you could go out and experience a change and find it refreshing, because it too will pass. It too will go away. And then you'll say, God, I wish I would have embraced those few cold days. That was fun. Could have went and sat somewhere with a fireplace. Different. But I think the masses all pile it on that it's it's different. It's out of the ordinary.
Yeah, you just reminded me, because when you said, the weather, right? I think everybody's just looking for excuses right now, And what's great about excuses is they let you off the hook. And what do they let you off the hook from? And that is taking responsibility for your life. The true fear that we have is that we're powerful beyond imagination. It's not the fear of failure and all that stuff. I think the greatest fear that humans have is that they can't handle, like they say in A Few Good Men, Howie, you can't handle the truth. And
you can't handle the truth. You can't handle. That was a great thing.
And the truth is that everybody can do anything, but it takes a lot of work. I was talking to Chicken about this, and wait, before I forget, right now it's funny. Have you guys ever had a pencil that is like not sharpened and it has only got one little area that is writable? I'm working with that right now, so I got to get it right. But
you're using it. You're making the most of it. You're using it. Rather than saying, I don't have a pencil, this pencil sucks, you're just making a comment, but you are using it.
I'll tell you, this day was tough until I realized that I had a pencil that I could write.
That should be the worst thing in everybody's day, that their number 2 pencil is not pointy enough. But now let me ask you a question. Let
me drop this thought, because you were talking about the weather, right? So if I wake up this morning, first of all, Wayne Dyer says if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, right? So it's up to me to change the way I look at things, which is not always easy. But if I looked outside today, because I was talking to Chicken about this, it looked cold. It looked windy, it looked dreary, a little bit of rain, and it looked cold. So that was our perception. That's the way we looked at it. But in that same moment, here we are in December, and you mentioned a cold front, right? Which is us predicting the future, which is silly, right? It's a mystery. But somewhere at the same moment, a little kid was looking out the window saying, do you think it's going to snow this year, Mom? Right? Now, we don't want to tell that kid that it doesn't snow much anymore in this area, but that's what it means. It has to do with what you're looking for. And, we always talk about this idea of playing above the line or below the line. The most important part of that is above the line, we're taking responsibility for our lives, right? We're recognizing if it is to be, it is up to me, and I can do anything I want if I'm willing to put the work in, the hard work and the hard work, and never ever quit. If anybody here goes after something and never ever quits, not only will they achieve it, but they'll get to a point where it is a piece of cake. Now, below the line means we're just not taking responsibility. The quickest way to get below the line is to have an excuse. Why are you not above the line? Why are you not getting up and seizing this amazing possibility and potential in December right now? I'll tell you why. Because you have a reason why it's not a good time. I love when I ask people, I say, hey, I can help you get happy, healthy, and wealthy. I've got a simple goof-proof structure to do it. And they say to me, they go, thanks, but now's not a good time. Right?
Well,
and I'm thinking
that goes back to December's not a good time. Let's get it together in January.
Listen, when it comes to success, you don't get to decide when it happens. Well, you do, because you go to work. But when you have the opportunity and potential to go after your dreams, which you do right in this moment, don't ever allow yourself to say it's not a good time, because you don't call the shots. In fact, we have no proof. Watch this. Let me call God right now. Hey, God, I got a question for you. Everybody that's listening wants to know if it's a sure thing that they're going to wake up and get another shot tomorrow. He said, he's laughing. He's laughing right now, right? So excuses come in real handy because they allow us to step away from responsibility. So look what's going on right now. what a great excuse that this year sucked. And you're still in this year, so you just assume that December's going to suck rather than look at it and see the bright side and say, hey, with all this shit, there's got to be a pony somewhere, right? I think we're due. I think we're going to have the greatest December ever. And I think the skies are going to open up with potential and opportunity, but we got to look for it. And we can't take this BS excuse that takes us out of the role of responsibility. And for all the parents out there, you know what I'm talking about, because you could wake up like the Black Knight from King Arthur and or what Excalibur, the movie, the funny movie. He gets his leg cut off and he just hops up and down. He goes, "That's just a flesh wound," right? Parents, you wake up, you could have coronavirus, you could lose your job, and you could be bummed out beyond belief. But if your kid needs a ride somewhere, you do it. That's called responsibility. So we have no right to take an excuse that is completely out of our power and become irresponsible, because as soon as we do that, Howie, even though you have a great excuse, now's not a good time. We had a tragedy in the family. We have the coronavirus. I'm struggling with my job and I'm not feeling very well. So right now is not a good time to go after my dreams. In that moment, you've just stepped off the highway and you're now on a side road that has all kinds of problems on it. Potholes and spikes.
Yep.
And sometimes you even get pulled over and you get a ticket over there, right? All that stuff.
Yeah, I like that you say an excuse is a pass for not wanting to be responsible. And if I think back to, like, you know, you say raising kids, even the youngest days when they're playing sports or playing an instrument, those that practiced the most were the best. Those that worked out the hardest.
And the luckiest. They're the luckiest.
Yeah. I love when you read these stories about these athletes that are overnight success. You know, what did I see? I just listened to Jeff Conine from the Marlins, played with the Orioles. He had a really nice career, and he's doing a lot of philanthropic work with the Joe DiMaggio Hospital for Children in South Florida. And he told the story that, you know, he got drafted in the 46th round. And he was like, "Oh, I'll take a few years shot at it, and then I'll go to the real world." But he said he committed himself to work so hard those 3 years in the minors that he got called up, and he had a, I don't know, 15, 18-year career where he made a difference and won a couple of World Series. And again, it wasn't luck. He took an opportunity from the 46th round and parlayed it into working really hard to then doing really good things, not only for himself, but the community. So hard work wins every time, and having a good attitude. So again, the bright side. We could sit here and talk about all of the things that take us to the dark side. Matter of fact, maybe we start wearing yellow shirts for this show. What do you think, Dragon? You know, maybe we got to brighten up the wardrobe here to really feel we're even there, because we're talking about it. Maybe we should look the act.
Yeah. I got yellow pants, but I don't have a yellow shirt yet, so I'll have to get on that.
Yellow hats. Oh, a branded bright side hat.
Another unsuspecting, unconscious excuse is the two magic, the dangerous words, and that's "I'm fine." Right? I'm fine.
I can't. I won't. I'm fine.
I'm fine. You know, think about what it means when you say you're fine. Is that seeing the bright side? Well, you might think that you are, because what you're doing is saying, no, everything's fine. Everything's fine. But in that moment, what you're really saying is I don't have any dreams. I don't have any visions. I don't have any goals, right? So this is the real interesting thing about the bright side, because it really, really is a choice, you know? So what would prompt me to make a choice, see the bright side, to wonder if it's going to snow when I look out on a cold, dreary day? There's so many things attached to that. It's really insane, you know? I guess right now people are looking for hope, but people are hopeless. right now. So you have to create your own hope. It's another interesting thing is that, happiness and money and success, they don't disappear. Even during times of tragedy and the pandemic, they just move to a different area. So sometimes we do have to look elsewhere, but what are you looking for? Are you looking for solutions or are you looking for excuses right now? Here's an interesting thing. I'm going to say I was talking to chicken because that's all I do all day, talk to chicken.
Somebody asked who Chicken is. They're new here, and I saw Amber posted, but Chicken is Dragon's much, much better half, Mika. Yeah. So Mika, if you're listening, Mika, she's amazing. And it's an incredible love story that took your life from a dark side to a bright side.
I'll tell you something interesting about that love story is Chicken and I, so here's a perfect example of seeing the bright side. Chicken and I were scheduled and set to get married on December 9th in Cape Town, South Africa, which is days away. All of our guests that were going to fly out there and all that, they're texting us saying, man, I wish we were going to be there, blah, blah, blah. So, boy.
By the way, I got a credit on my ticket, so I'm good for next year.
Well, but think about this for a second. What a derail. It's one thing to have like an event canceled, but your wedding, just imagine what that's like to be just looking forward to that. So we were aware of this, like we remained hopeful that we were going to get married, but then we got to that place with the coronavirus where everything started canceling, so we had to cancel it. And it's a big to do to go out to South Africa. We're going to have a safari and all that stuff, so we actually rescheduled it for next year, right? But just like coming up to the anniversary of the loss of a loved one, by the way, side note, the 25th of December, highest rate of heart attacks in America on that day.
And why is that?
It's because of the emotions. It's because of the stress and the emotions. It's the heart disease is there already, but the reason why it's that day is that's the day that everything gets welled up. It's too much for people to handle. So you better get control of things right now.
Does that have anything to do too with the overindulgence and the amount of food, or not really?
I'm sure it has to do with everything, but what I can tell you is you can flip a switch right now and make a conscious decision, bright side style, to take a different path. What's interesting about activating, and this is something we wanted to talk about in the last couple of minutes. What's interesting about activating forward progress is you can do it in minutes. The easiest way for anybody to completely redirect themselves and reclaim control of their lives is by first taking care of themselves, and I just realized now we were about to go in a whole different direction. But think about that. This is our gift. This is our action step here, because I realize we're running out of time. Right now, if anybody is saying, okay, I get all this stuff, guys, and I'm ready and I want, I'm open. I'm not going to say now's not a good time. I'm ready and I'm open and I'm willing. Tell me where to go. Take me to your leader. Here's your first step. Your first step is don't go out there looking for some sort of magic pill or solution. Your first step is to look in the mirror at that person and say, how can I improve this person right now? Get the weight off, get the nutrition going, get in the gym, things that are 100% in your control. Nothing else you're worried about is under your control. You get your physical and your mental in order right now, and that's how you step into this world of always seeing the bright side, by the way. That's the super highway to not only the bright side, but just an accelerated highway of success is just by starting with a physical shift. Because as we always say, on a healthy body rests a healthy mind. So what everybody should do for the holidays right now is not worry about all these other things. Worry about yourself. Become mindful of your current reality and flip a switch right now. Chicken and I are right now, you know what we're doing in December? We're doing 30 days of perfect program, meaning we're on the program that you coach because that's goof proof and simple. We got busy lives. We're drinking our water. We're not doing anything toxic. We're not consuming anything or people or food that's toxic. No toxic consumption for 30 days. Now, why the hell would we do that? Because there's this silly illusion that you're going to wake up with some magic dust sprinkled over you December 31st into January 1st, and you're going to gain the ability to like all of a sudden succeed. It'll be 2021, and from what I understand, 2021 is going to be perfect. No problems in 2021.
No problems. I got that call. I got the call from the man.
But do you want to guarantee that right now?
I want to guarantee that if you do what you're doing and what I'm doing these next 30 days, I guarantee 2021 will get you off to a better start.
That's it.
That I'll guarantee. You will feel better mentally, physically, emotionally. I love the part too that you said you're not putting anything toxic in, and you included relationships. You know, we talk about don't eat this or go do that exercise. How about toxic relationships in the workplace, in the relationship world, and just with friends, family, or whatever? There's no need to tolerate it. It just needs to be changed.
Just have a conversation with yourself first. Here's what I'm telling everybody to do. Have a conversation with yourself in the mirror and just come to terms with your true current reality. Not affected by any outside in BS. Just have a conversation with yourself and just come to terms with the truth about your physical, mental, and financial well-being. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't use some personal growth technique to pretend that everything's fine. Today's a great day and I feel terrific. Look at yourself in the mirror and just tell yourself the truth. And then your second step is pick up the phone, pick up your computer, your Snapchat, your smoke signal, whatever you're going to do, and have a conversation with Howie about just what's possible. About what's possible. And the cool thing about that is if you're still kind of not 100% sure, it's just a conversation. But have an open conversation with HowieDoinIt himself and just see what's possible. And then you'll realize that anything's possible.
That would be great. I appreciate that. And right there in the chat, there's my calendar. Reach out to me.
Nice,
love to have a conversation. In this day and age, we could have a virtual water or a coffee and just get to know one another. Take 30 minutes out, learn a little bit about what you're doing, what's working, what's not working, and what we're doing, which we know is working, if you are willing to open your window, put your mind to it, and commit. And that's it. That's all we're asking for you to do, and the results are incredible.
Listen, everybody have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And more important than anything, just really assess what matters, what doesn't. Assess, what you might be getting sucked into right now. Turn the TV off right now and just reclaim control of your life and just assess what you're consuming. Make a consumption list and really, really identify what it is that is in support of a better life versus not. And you might have to get rid of some people. You might have to take some people off the Christmas card list this year, right? Because some people don't have the ability and the strength to rise up and see the bright side of things. So if you choose to see the bright side, just make sure that you understand that you're taking a different path than everybody else, and everybody else might try to drag you back in. So you're gonna have to fight. You're gonna have to fight for it, but boy, is it worth it. Boy, is it worth it. See you on
the reward is worth it. What?
I said, and we'll see you on the other side.
We'll see you next Wednesday. Have a great week. Thanks for being here, everybody, and look forward to a cup of coffee. Have a great day.